We are now just 2 days away from Cobra Kai Season 2 hitting YouTube. And I came across this Men's Health article that was released a couple weeks ago. And it's about William Zabka. And as you see in the title, how karate training helped Cobra Kai's William Zabka get back in fighting shape at 53. So first of all, he looks great at 53. Same with Ralph Macchio. I think Ralph Macchio might be a couple years younger. But a lot of people didn't realize that before William Zabka was in the Karate Kid, he was doing commercials. Same with Ralph Macchio. And I happened to find one of the commercials that William did back in 1984. And here it is right here.
Mom, I've seen it all now. You're using Tilex Instant Mildew Stain Remover, and there are no mildew stains.
This is new Tilex. It's for mildew stains and soap scum.
Soap scum? What's soap scum?
That soapy film you get all over every time you shower. With new Tilex, you just spray, and it cuts through soap scum. So you just wipe it away. And new Tilex leaves behind a crisp, clean scent.
Mom, we should use new Tilex every week.
Oh, we will.
That's pretty classic. So that was done like right before he did the Karate Kid. Now, if we get back to the article, so he talks about his getting back into shape for Cobra Kai Season 1 and what he did. And here's a little interesting fact that says the season's first episode received a whopping 55 million views and was the 6th most searched show on Google for all of 2018. And it talked about how he trained. I guess Zabka had trained in martial arts for the movie. He didn't know anything about martial arts when he did the Karate Kid, and he continued his training a little afterwards. And so when Cobra Kai came along, he had to get back into training, and so he was training with in the arts of Taekwondo, strength conditioning, and cardio for 12 to 14-hour work days. And he was on a diet of lean protein and vegetables. And that is actually one of the best diets. That's one of the diets I follow myself, is I eat a lot of vegetables. I'll eat fruit, and it's good to eat fruit with protein so it doesn't spike your insulin and your glucose levels. You avoid all the sugary drinks and garbage. I don't eat red meat or pork. I stick with the chicken, turkey, and fish. But that's actually a really good diet, and try to get as many greens as you can. And that's the diet he was on. And so he just, in this article, he reflects on what he did to get back in shape. And here's one more thing I want to show you was another commercial that he did. And he did this about, it looks like 4 years ago. It's a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial.
Excuse me, you realize this television's on a channel with men in silk robes slapping each other? Maybe we could just switch it to where the athletes are wearing shoes?
This gentleman and this gentleman want to know if we can change his channel.
I love karate. He doesn't like karate.
What? No, me?
You like karate?
I love it. Are you kidding? I've been telling you how much I want to join a dojo. Could you recommend a dojo?
Buffalo Wild Wings, 21 sauces and seasonings, tons of taps, and countless flat screens. Nowhere is sports more alive.
So that's pretty cool commercial. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. That's the first time I've actually seen it. And then back to the article. But what's cool at the bottom of this article is he talks about different Karate Kid memories. And one of the guys in the Karate Kid that taught both William and Ralph martial arts was Pat Johnson, who is like a legend in martial arts. And if you remember, Pat, he did all the choreographing. And if you remember who Pat Johnson was, he's this guy. He was the ref in the final, scenes of the Karate Kid. And so he talks about Pat Johnson here, and he talks about how he was able to get this role. And another little interesting tidbit is he said right here that he had to do a flying kick, and his heel went through the pad and into the drywall and actually punctured a hole in it. And he says this was on stage 15. They plastered it up, and he carved his initials on it on stage 15. And I was at Warner Brothers a couple years ago when I was working on Two Broke Girls, and if I would have known this fact, I would have went back to stage 15 and see if I could find his initials that he carved on the wall. And one day I will be back at Warner Brothers. That's the thing about being in the job I do. We jump from studio to studio depending on what show we work on. And I look forward to one day being back there and making that video, going to stage 15 and seeing if I can find his initials. That'd be pretty cool 35 years later if they were still there, which there's obviously a very good chance of them still being there, because one of the things that people do is they go up in the rafters above the stages, and people, you know, they write their name in chalk, pen, whatever, and you'd be surprised. You'd see people's names from like 50 years ago written in chalk still there. So there's probably a very good chance I could probably find his initials if they didn't cover it up or repaint it. But as you continue in this article, he talks about how they prepared for the final tournament scenes and on his audition, and I guess he had a back injury and how karate healed it. And then he talked about his relationship with Pat Morita. And he was talking about Pat Morita. He said the last time I saw him, which was Pat, he had another idea for a Karate Kid sequel. I don't think he was finished with Mr. Miyagi either. That would have been interesting to see what his idea was, and if one day it will come about and we'll learn. But it's a pretty good article. You guys should check it out. I'll leave it in the description down below. But like I said, we are 2 days out from Cobra Kai Season 2. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Leave comments, questions down below. I try to get back to everything. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.
MrYorkieLoverFitness.com